Hello and welcome to the Fools on Stools podcast. My name is Kevin Walker, and as always, I'm joined by my co-stars Anthony Council and Cullen Brown. Today is Wednesday, March 2nd, 2022. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day. If you have a great time, please do post us, share us, or tell others about us. If you don't like what you hear, then simply tell no one. Today is National Texas Independence Day, and I don't care I don't care what anyone says, it is a national holiday, okay? So, Cullen, Anthony, I must ask, what is your favorite memory or what is your favorite thing about being in Texas?
Wait. If it's a national holiday, then why don't we have the day off? Because I did go to class today.
Why are we here? That's the better question. Why are we here if it's a national holiday?
Like, I know people in Texas that had to go to work. My mama had to go to work today.
My mom worked today. My dad worked today, so,
Yeah.
I worked today.
Yeah.
Hey.
So if it's a national holiday, everyone needs the day off.
In
Texas,
this isn't
sure.
work. This is not work.
No, this is entertainment.
Yeah,
So-
this is.
So this day and then the day after the Super Bowl need to be national holidays.
Yes, this needs to happen.
So we're just advocating for holidays on this show, pretty much.
Hey, yes, I am fine with that.
Hey, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but no, favorite thing about Texas, it's home, isn't it? It's where, we all go to school, where we all grew up.
The stars at night are big and bright,
deep in the heart of Texas.
and everything's bigger in Texas.
Oh, that's for sure.
And that's the one thing I love about Texas. Everything's bigger. The food.
Oh God,
the food,
the food, the hair,
And might I
everything.
add, the number one brisket state.
Yes, for sure.
I just say barbecue personally.
Okay, yeah. Because
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh, it's Kansas City. No.
I've never tried
It is
Kansas.
Texas. It is Texas.
I've never tried Kansas, but I've tried Memphis barbecue.
Memphis barbecue be hitting.
It's good, but it's not Texas
I
barbecue.
drove through Memphis one time. We had my mom and I had some barbecue. It was good, bro.
Yeah.
Memphis be, yeah.
I will
And,
say some of the best dry rub ribs I ever had were from Memphis.
and, the best stars are in Memphis too now, with Ja Morant, I'm just saying.
We got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later. But let's get into the first topic, that being college basketball. And ladies and gentlemen, if you do remember last episode, me and Anthony, as we always do at this point, it's kind of like our frequent, we predicted what was going to happen.
We're just a dynamic duo, man.
This is what we do. Iowa
Wait, what was
did.
what was the official prediction that y'all had?
We said that Iowa was going to take down Michigan.
Yeah. And
Number 21 Iowa was going to take down number 6 Michigan, and they did.
And they did.
104-80.
with Caitlin Clark
Caitlin Clark,
the helm
dude.
of it all.
Okay.
Iowa is now a 12th seed, and only room for improvement at this point.
Like, how are they a 12th seed? Like, I'm like, they should at least be a little bit higher.
but they started from 21. So to jump from 21 to 12 is actually a really big jump in AP.
Yeah, all they did was just switch the numbers around.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. We went
Oh, yeah, no.
we went from 2 votes to 3 votes in terms of the AP poll from 1 week ago for
Thank
UNC
you
men's
for
basketball.
thank you to whoever that other voter was.
Yeah, appreciate you. No, but look, Caitlin Clark, I don't want to sound like the guy that I was a hater and everything. I am a fan of Caitlin Clark. I didn't know if they would beat Michigan. Obviously, you guys did predict that, so congratulations to y'all on that one.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
No big
look,
deal.
that logo shot she hit, I want to say it was in the first half.
Yep.
Dude, nice.
Just like butter.
Nice.
Like
butter.
confidence. I don't think I've ever seen a women's basketball player in terms of like her shooting confidence ever. Like the way that she's able just to pull up, whether it's off the catch, off the dribble, from deep, from mid, from up close and everything. She's willing to, if she feels as though she has a good shot, she's taking it, and most of the time she's knocking it down.
Let me read you this stat line. 37 minutes, 38 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 steals, and only 2 turnovers.
Yeah.
11 from 18 from the field goal and 8 from 11 on threes.
She was hot. Sometimes the goal is just as
And then
big as the ocean.
100% at the charity stripe.
Yeah, man. Sometimes that goal is as big as the ocean. Everything's just falling in, for real.
Like, dude.
Yeah.
And then they just went and just took care of business. 104-80 on a number 6 team.
She's so good for women's college basketball and then soon to be WNBA. Like she's a star. There's no other way to put it. She is a superstar in college basketball, and she's doing a great thing for an Iowa program who, at least for me, it's not really traditional like
Oh, no.
WNBA power, or excuse me, women's basketball power. And the fact that she's got them all the way up to the number 12 ranked ranking this late into the season, it really shows that Caitlin Clark's had the impact that, women hope to have whenever they go to a big program like this. So.
Oh, yeah, no. She's definitely putting Iowa on the map. But as you did mention before, Cullen, we did get that third vote in AP, but UNT men's basketball is on a 14-game winning streak. We did indeed take care of Louisiana Tech. All that we have left now is, I believe, UTEP and UTSA. And then we go to the conference tournament and see where we are. Far as bracketology, UNT is currently predicted to be a bubble team. So
ESPN bracketology currently has them as a 12 seed.
Okay.
Going up against Arkansas.
And that's the thing is the bracketology stuff is like,
it's
like looking at mock drafts. There's a million of them.
There is. I mean, and things could always change. Obviously, we still have to go through the conference tournament, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
And big win for UNT to get that win over Louisiana Tech this past Saturday and everything.
Dude.
Fourth largest crowd in UNT history.
Dude, that was insane.
I don't know if y'all went to the game.
No,
I was here.
But that was a nice game.
Oh, I did watch it, dude.
TP was going off. It was nice. The confetti was falling.
And the thing about it is Tyler Perry didn't hit a single three the entire game. Matter of fact, I would even go as far to say he'd had a horrible stat line. It don't matter. He hit the three when it mattered. Dude, that three was so nice and crispy. I was like, I was watching it with my dad, and I was like, watch. I was like, he's had a horrible game. I was like, watch. He's about to drain this three. It's like, watch. It's going to be insane. He's about to drain this three, right? And he did it. And I was like, this guy is something else. He is the definition of clutch. I mean, put a bucket next to his name.
So for all y'all NBA scouts out there that are looking for a dynamic point guard, Tyler Perry, UNT, he's dominant right now. He's been killing the game right now.
He's a winner, plain and simple.
Oh, yeah.
He's won championships as freshman, sophomore, and he won a conference championship now in his junior year. To your point, Kevin, he was 0 for 9 on field goals before that last shot to put us up. He obviously hit all 6 of his free throws at the charity stripe, so he's still finding a way to be efficient. Did grab 4 rebounds and chipped in 2 assists to combat the 2 turnovers that he had. But like I said, it's just one of those things. Like Abu Usman was the leader in points for us this game, 13 and 7. Mardrez and Thomas also tripped in double figures for UNT. It's really, I know Tyler's like the big guy that's going to get a lot of the national attention and everything, but this team just has so many guys that are capable of stepping up in big spots.
It's very well-rounded.
Yeah, and it should hopefully bode well for them come tournament time. Obviously, we'll just have to wait and see. They do have a bye, first-round bye winning the West Division for Conference USA.
Yeah.
But man, I'm excited for this.
Let's give a big old hand to head coach Grant McCaslin and the Mean Green for getting that dub.
Yeah, man.
14
securing
straight.
the West.
14 straight.
Man.
Yeah. And also like I'm very impressed, especially at this game, at their free throws.
Yeah.
They're getting a lot better at the free throw shooting, I will say.
They were trash at free throws in the beginning of the season.
Oh,
there was so many conversations. I remember going to their first press conference, just about it was after the game. And it was media and stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, we just gotta work on free throws. Got to work on free throws. Got to work on free throws." And now, look, TP5 is doing what 4 for 4 from. Not 4 for 4, 6 for 6 from the charity stripe. Jones is going 4 for 4, 2 for 3 for Bell. Bro, they have definitely improved on their free throw shooting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think UNT, as you mentioned, if you asked me before the season, just looking at the box score from the first stat lines, Tyler Perry was the only one that I really felt comfortable with at the charity stripe.
Yeah.
And lately now, these guys have really been putting the work in the gym, and it's showing off. Only missing, 4 free throws the entire game, 19 to 23. That's going to become important when we get into these close, nail and tooth games or whatever in tournament time. And, they have all the momentum going. They got to, make sure that they round it out smart with UTSA and UTEP, play clean basketball, play good.
Don't get sideswiped.
No. And, boys, 14 in a row. They tied the longest win streak in program history.
Yeah, and, hopefully we can win out. And, we'll talk about the Conference USA championship and the tournament bid and, how all that stuff's going to play out. But right now, I just want to be focused on winning, and winning,
Yeah.
And I think really that's all we can focus on, because everybody else is just going to have to figure it out from there.
And really, everybody else has kind of been losing, especially some players, not players, but some teams in the top 25, which was very shocking on a night of great basketball.
Oh,
Not just top 25, top 10.
Yeah.
1 through 6 down.
And number 9, Texas Tech also
Yep.
lost. So, what is that, 7 top 10 teams losing?
And I told y'all this in the beginning, or not in the beginning, but I told y'all this earlier on. It's something about those those inside conference games that just are different. TCU freaking took care of Kansas last night. Who would have saw that
was
coming?
Wild.
Anybody could beat anybody in the Big 12.
And that's the thing. Like,
It's
inside
insane.
conference rivals, it's just a different story.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've been talking about Auburn as one of the most consistent teams in the country, like all season. They've dropped 3 in the past, 2 to 3 weeks, and they've slipped down out of the 1 seed when they were like the consensus number 1 team for most of the year, it felt like.
They had like a 12-game win streak earlier in the year.
Yeah. And I mean, look, Gonzaga also lost, which means UNT. I know we just got done talking about UNT, but UNT is the only undefeated road team
In Division I basketball.
and it's just absolutely insane. Anybody can lose to anybody. Like you said, Kevin, conference games, they really just bring the most out of these players and everything. College rivalries they're absolutely insane. And come tournament time, come postseason time, that's only going to ramp up.
And speaking of conference rivalries, UAB and Louisiana Tech will be playing to fight for that 2nd seed in the West. That is definitely a matchup that I am wanting to see, because I think UAB is the better team in that. But Louisiana Tech has proven to be...
They're scrappy.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are scrappy. Yeah.
Especially with Kenneth Lofton Jr., man. He is...
He's a bucket.
Yeah, not only is he a bucket, but he's physical, man. He is a physical guy.
Right.
And I think that's why North Texas can do what they do, is because they're physical too. And UAB, they're just a well-rounded roster with a lot of really talented guys, and I think that Louisiana Tech UAB game is going to be something to watch.
Absolutely, for Conference USA.
Oh yeah.
Also to mention too, because I know we were talking about the Big 12 earlier, we got Kansas here at number 6. Baylor is number 3 in the nation. Texas Tech is currently 12, and I think UT's 21, I believe. Yeah, they're 21st in the nation and everything. So those 4 teams, that could be potentially, again, I'm not sure how the conference standings can kind of shuffle out in the Big 12, but if those 4 teams meet in the semifinals for their respective conference championship, it could get very interesting, because I feel like, again, Texas has proven with a couple of really impressive wins, they can kind of hang with those top 3 guys, and it should be a very interesting whoever comes out of that bracket in terms of how their trajectory is going into March Madness.
Yeah, and I have a question for y'all.
Mhm.
St. Mary's beat Gonzaga.
What? I mean,
Yep.
seriously, that was ridiculous. They were ranked 23. Now they're ranked 19 by beating Gonzaga. They just shot them out the park.
How the hell is... Okay, so do y'all, one, believe that Gonzaga is the best team in college basketball?
I think
Just a quick synopsis of an answer.
No, I don't think they're the best, because, like Cullen said, anyone can beat anybody, especially in March.
Oh yeah, it is March, baby.
I think they're a well-oiled machine, but I think that they can be the best. It's just they just can't underestimate anybody anymore, especially after losing
Cullen, what do you
that
think?
bad.
if you're giving me just a yes or no answer, I'm going to say no, but I don't believe there's any clear-cut number 1 team best in the nation anymore.
There's been a lot of upsets this year, man.
There really has.
There has been a lot of upsets this year, but I think that game really put St. Mary's on the map for hey.
Yeah, we here too.
They can be a dark horse in this thing. Do not count out St. Mary's.
Yeah, I mean so what would that be?
They've done things in the past. Too.
They're what would that be? They're a 4 or 5 seed with their current ranking. Again, not sure the bracketology and everything, but yeah, no, they're absolutely. There was a big win for them over number 1 Gonzaga. Listen, Duke. Remember we had this conversation earlier in the year. I didn't know how Duke would be potentially following in this final year for Coach K. They're currently a 1 seed.
I'd say they're doing just fine.
Yeah, and they're
That's
right
no
back
surprise.
into form. Ben Caro is one of the best players in the nation. And, I mean, Krzyzewski's going to have a well-coached team. And if he can really escape that first weekend where we know it can be kind of dangerous for these bigger schools and everything, Coach K's team is definitely going to be in the mix come late March, potentially early April. So, college basketball is wild. I think this is going to be arguably one of the more competitive
Marches.
Yeah, of the more recent memory, and I can't wait. I'm so excited for it.
I'm really excited for it. I mean, I put it on Twitter. I was like, it is March, baby. I'm ready for it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be heated. It's going to be heated because anybody can win.
Oh yeah, it's going to be. It's definitely. It's gonna be up there for sure.
There's going to be some upsets. Like I said in the beginning, I think UNC could upset a team, and I would not be surprised.
It really depends on who we get matched up with, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, and and we'll play more on the bracketology as Selection Sunday gets closer and closer. We are, I believe, 11 days away.
I think you're right.
Yeah, 11.
So hopefully, you squeeze in there. I would rather squeeze in than play on a bubble game, but we will take what we can get.
Absolutely.
Well, that's gonna do it for the college basketball. But after this short break, we're going to come back for a little bit of baseball with a special guest.
Yeah, because we got some news for baseball.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, some unfortunate news. We got some good news, we got some bad news, and then we just got some just news. And we're here to talk about it. Nice. Tune in and stay tuned to the Fools on Stools podcast.
We'll be right back.
Yo, what's up? It's Anthony Council, part of the Fools on Stools podcast. And if you want to listen to more hot takes, crazy debates, or just three guys on stools having a good time, go to Fools on Stools on Twitter, Instagram, KNTU, or now on YouTube at Fools on Stools. If you want to listen to other podcasts, go to kntu.com, where you can listen to the main event with Mason and Ryan, or the Greenlee Review Presents with Grant. And as always, grab a stool and be a fool.
Welcome back to the Fools on Stools podcast. Thank you for taking that little break. Now we are going to talk about some baseball, and with us today we have a little guest, our first follower of the Fools on Stools podcast, Mr. Billy Walker. And with what has happened recently in baseball, the games being canceled and the CBA not being able to be agreed on, what are your thoughts with what's been going on recently?
Well, I think it's an absolute tragedy. I grew up playing baseball, loved the game. Some people are going to say that it's billionaires fighting with millionaires. I don't believe that's necessarily the case this time around. I think a lot of it has to do with they're trying to get their, the younger generation paid. They're trying to get the guys that, are kind of starving while they're trying to make a living doing it. I mean, I know the guys that make $25 million, $30 million a year, $40 million a year. I understand that, why are they fighting for it? But I think it's an overall just trying to make the game to where it's a little bit more player-friendly, I guess, because you got to think about these owners are making, billions of dollars, and they're trying to pocket as much as possible. And I think they need to spread that down on the lower end of the spectrum, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Cullen, Anthony, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so a lot of what you were saying, I really do agree with, in terms of them fighting for the little man, as, quote unquote. Because these guys that are getting paid, they're not worried about it. It's the guys that are in the minor leagues, having to choose this career to, potentially make a living off of, the ones that aren't making into the 7, 8, 9 figures as we see some of the other MLB guys doing. One thing I'll say about this, and I'll ask your expertise on this, Mr. Walker, because yesterday was the 90th day of negotiations between the Players Association and the owners. When you've got something that you need to get done, and I'm no better than this than a lot of other guys. Procrastination is not the method that, you teach your kids or you teach, people that you work under, because you're trying to obviously have the season get done and have the season go underway. And it just seemed like the owners were very reluctant to start the meetings and to really jump into them, to get the talks going. Can you just kind of give us your thoughts on, them taking a while just to get into talks with the Players Association?
Yeah, I agree with that. The biggest thing I think, so the players, when they turn down an arbitrator, so the players turned down the arbitrator, the owners wanted an arbitrator because they knew if they got an arbitrator, it was going to get done. The players want to get it done on their terms. My personal opinion, I think you lock everybody in a room and you say, look, you're not leaving until it's done. Because all you're doing is you're destroying the game. I mean, baseball's been hurting anyway. It's taken a toll. It's taken a hit over the years of, it does need a way to bring, like, you got teams making $40 million, you got teams paying out $40 million a year while you got the Yankees paying out $256 million a year.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there does need to be a parity somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest mistake baseball is going to make is trying to do these 15, 16-year contracts. It's ridiculous. I think you should do it, kind of like they do in football. Take 5 years at a time, earn it. Because in baseball, everything's guaranteed.
Right.
You can sign a 16-year contract, break your leg the next day, never play again, but guess what? You're still getting that money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's ridiculous. My opinion is that there does need to be some kind of – there's got to be give and take on both sides. The problem is the players' union's too strong and they don't give.
Yeah, that's true. Mr. Walker, what do you think is going to be, I guess, the outcome? Because what I've heard in recent reports and just from people from other sources is that the season may start in May, and that could be just a real shell shocker because, May is, prime time. We're talking like for television ratings because right now in March, you have March Madness, you have the NBA playoffs, and for TV markets, that's really the NBA and college basketball's bread and butter. But when May, June, July, August, that's the MLB's, that's their time to shine. And without any baseball, it's going to really detriment the game because you're not having players play. And Mr. Walker, I'm sure you will agree to this. When players start trying to dig in their pockets and they don't have a game check, it's gonna be slim pickings. So what do you think needs to happen before? Let's just say the MLB starts in May. What do you think needs to happen or needs to change?
Well, I think big picture is that people – I mean, you've got these players and you got these owners fighting over – what everybody's forgetting is you've got 30 stadiums that have hundreds of jobs. That guess what? Hundreds of people, thousands of people don't have jobs. And they won't have jobs because it takes, I don't know how many people it takes to, put on a game every night, but you have, you got 162 games. And those are people who really probably depend on that paycheck. That's not there. And, people who work in the office, you got, you take it down. It's all down the list. Everything rolls downhill. And so it doesn't just affect owners and players. It affects a lot of different people. And my personal opinion is if it takes till – like right now, it's upsetting. You didn't come to an agreement yesterday. Well, what are you doing? Well, you're not talking about it today. Why not? Like I said, they should lock themselves in a room and hammer it out.
They talk for
that's the way I see it.
They talk for 15 minutes one day, so
and then they talk for 16 hours the next.
Yeah.
And that's the bad thing about it is everybody. It's the owners against the players. There's no unity, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not trying to conform to anything. It's okay. We want it our way. Well, we want it our way. Well, it doesn't work that way. We've got, and that falls on your commissioner, which is an absolute joke. So when you've got a commissioner that can't stand up to anybody, then this is what you get. You get, nobody's going to agree. Well, why not? Well, because there is no – the owners don't care if they cancel games. They've already proven that. Well, the only thing that's going to hurt are the people that don't have millions of dollars in their bank account, for one, and it's going to kill minor league baseball because from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, they're talking about taking away minor league teams anyway.
Or they're thinking about taking away minor league players' compensation. And I had a quick question on that. And I know you touched on it earlier about the power of the MLBPA. I'm going to go ahead and read a statement that the MLBPA put out. This is directly from the Major League Baseball Players Association, saying, in a quote, Rob Manfred and the MLB's owners have canceled the start of the season. Players and fans around the world who love baseball are disgusted but sadly not surprised. From the beginning of these negotiations, players' objectives have been consistent: to promote competition, provide fair compensation for young players, and to uphold the integrity of our market system. Against the backdrop of growing revenues and record profits, we seek nothing more than a fair agreement. What Rob Manfred characterized as a defensive lockout is, in fact, the culmination of decades-long attempt by owners to break our player fraternity. As in the past, this effort will fail. We are united and committed to negotiating a fair deal that will improve the sport for players, fans, and everyone who loves our game. Now, after that statement was put out, players, of the likes of Mike Trout and Anthony Rizzo and multiple others, they came out and said, hey, we want to play this game. We love this game. But we got to get this right. We got to do this for not only us, but the next generation. And basically, they're just calling not only the MLB in general out, but really just calling the commissioner out. Like you said earlier, the commissioner, there's a lot of issues there. And not only that, but just to trigger you a little bit extra, did you see the picture of old Rob Manfred smiling?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw it. And that's the thing. That's the biggest issue we have here is you've got a quote leader that doesn't know how to be a leader. Because if there was any way to get this done, you're going to sit there and tell me you're that far off in numbers. Okay, well, if you're that far off in numbers, you should have been talking about this 6 months ago. See, they wait till the very last minute to get this, to even start talking about this. They knew that back in '94 when they did this, but they've got it done before they actually canceled games. So this time around, they're actually canceling games. And the only reason they're doing it is because the owners and Manfred is trying to stick it to the players. Hey, we're not giving in. Y'all are going to give in if y'all want to play. And guess what? That's not going to happen.
Nope.
So you think that
baseball's been around forever.
So
what?
So you think the MLBPA is going to end up winning this whole thing when it's all said and done?
No, I think eventually there's going to have. The only way a deal gets done is both sides are going to have to give in.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what do you give in on. Like, so my personal opinion, they're talking about doing a universal DH. I hate that idea. And I'm going to tell you why. American League and National League has been separated by that dynamic for forever. So you take that away. Then why do you have a National League and American League? There's no sense in there's no division anymore. You might as well just, all the West Coast teams are in one division, all the East Coast teams are in one division. It doesn't matter. But that being said, we're so far off from that just being an issue because all they're wanting to talk about is it's all about the money. And it sounds like from everything I've, heard and read and everything, it's basically the owners or the players are trying to stick up for the little man, for the guys that, may or may not make it.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about it, minor league baseball players don't make money. They don't make enough money to live on.
No.
It's slim paychecks.
So do you think there's going to still be, from the MLB lockout in '94, if we're talking about that, do you think that there's going to be 938 games canceled this year? Or
Yeah, what would your prediction be on total games missed if you had to guess?
Okay, so this is I was kind of thinking about that today, and this is the way I look at it. If they don't make this a priority and actually get back to talking I'd say by the end of the weekend, then yeah, you're probably looking at 2 or 3 months.
wow.
Wow. So you think it could potentially start as late as June?
Wow.
The actual
Yeah,
summer.
It could be June.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the owners came back and said, you know what, 162 games is a lot of games anyway. We're not paying these players right now, so guess what? They're not losing any money.
Okay.
They're not gaining any money,
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
but they're not losing any money.
So real quick before we move off of the topic of, the whole CBA and everything that's going on over there, do you think overall, and I know that baseball is at a detriment right now between the CBA not being agreed on and, even before the CBA, this whole conflict had happened, even when in the midst of the World Series last year, a lot of people were like, hey, baseball's got a lot of issues, a lot of problems, a lot of things that need to be addressed. The playoff format's been altered, and numerous of different things have been changed, but there's still a lot of room for change because everyone's like, hey, baseball's on a decline. No one wants to watch baseball. Nobody wants to set their time aside to watch baseball anymore, and there's 162 games year in, year out. So do you think overall, if these games get missed, do you think that's going to become a further detriment to baseball, or do you think that might actually help?
No, it'll be a detriment because, okay, so this is my thing. The steroid era killed baseball. Absolutely killed it. And I know some people say, well, it shouldn't matter. Well, it does matter. If you ask me who holds I still think Roger Maris holds 61. I saw it. I watched it. I watched it unfold. I watched Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire just go at it all season long. And then I saw Barry Bonds 2 years later, hit 72. And it didn't matter because I looked at it then as, okay, it's farce. And some great players have been tagged on that. Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds, and you name it. There's been 100. Kirk Schilling, and just the list goes on and on. But it killed baseball then because the integrity of the game was killed. Then they start coming out with this whole, okay, well, a couple years ago they came, well, Houston cheated. They've been cheating in baseball since day of time.
Right.
Spitballs and, pitchers putting Vaseline on their – they've been cheating since the day of time. Mm-hmm. Anything to get an edge. So it's just they made it so apparent that they were cheating. Well, now that and media, you can't get by with anything anymore, so it doesn't matter. So, if you're going to cheat nowadays, you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
And I just think the purity of the game has been ruined. And the only way they're going to bring back, in my opinion, the only way they're going to show face, and I know this is probably, the players don't want to show face. They don't want to, you know what, we're not doing this. We're going to stand our ground and we're going to – but if the players would actually show a little face, that would probably go a long way with fans more than the owners.
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean exactly by show face?
Give in a little bit.
Yeah. No. I know we've been talking about the CBA here for a minute. I just wanted to get your thoughts on another topic that we had, Mr. Walker. The Miami Marlins and CEO Derek Jeter have mutually agreed to part ways. Jeter stepping down immediately as of Monday. He was baseball's first and still is the only black chief executive officer. The reason Jeter released a statement explaining his decision, it says, was influenced by the vision of the future of the Marlins. He was trying to build more of a win-now culture. The Marlins did not believe they were ready to compete at this current moment. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that with that report coming out this past Monday.
So, I watched Derek Jeter play baseball from the time he was till he came in till he retired, and probably one of the greatest shortstops ever played the game. And he won championship after championship after championship. So you go to a team that can't even draw fans. So what's his mindset? My thinking, his mindset is, I'm Derek Jeter. I'm going to bring people in. It doesn't work that way. But you have to have owners that are willing to spend money. Well, he doesn't have owners that are willing to spend money. It's just kind of like the Rangers. Okay, so the Rangers go out and spend probably the biggest payload they've ever spent on a shortstop and second baseman this year. Why? Why now? You don't have pitching staff. You don't really have any hitters. You solidified an infield, or you solidified a middle infield, but that's pretty much all you've done.
But on that note, the Rangers and a lot of other teams like the Rangers who were in that pool of just acquiring players left and right before that CBA deadline hit, the Rangers were prepared to go out and get more guys to make this a team. They were ready to, basically just go all in and just build a team.
Yeah, you're right. In my personal opinion, I don't think the CBA should have stopped that.
Yeah, no.
I think it puts a large disadvantage.
I think the free agency and all of that should have been able to still continue to go.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If you're not getting paid by the Mets, well, guess what? If you get traded, you're not getting paid by them either. So what difference does it make?
I mean, Derek Jeter had 5 years to figure this out.
Yeah.
when he signed.
That's a bad thing with Miami, and Miami's been that way since day one. They don't want to pay nobody. They can't
Right.
draw fans.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
So you
they
think
just cannot get fans there. Well, guess what? You're not going to make no money. Derek Jeter, it does not surprise me that he stepped down, and the reason he did is because he wants to win. They're not a win-now culture, and he's like, okay, well, I don't want a part of it.
And that makes the most sense. I mean, they're not doing
I
anything.
applaud him for it.
There was reports that the owner Jeter had talks with the owner about getting active in free agency before the CBA deadline hit and acquiring players and building a roster, and they did not meet in the middle on those views. And I guess overall he just decided, hey, I ain't gonna be able to do nothing here.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to be a puppet.
No.
Yeah, just from what you're saying, you're basically saying that Jeter was in a no-win situation from the get-go.
He was in a no-win situation. One, he's got owners that don't want to spend money. Well, you can't win if you don't spend money.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got the mindset is, I can win if you give me the players.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to give you the players.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, it's
There
kind of the Jerry Jones, conflict we live with every day.
Yeah.
I want to spend money on the people I want to spend money on. Well, you spend money stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got a $90 million running back that can't run no more.
Yeah, that's true. It's a very interesting way of looking at it.
So it's like, I want to spend the money on what I want to spend the money on, but I don't want to spend the money where it needs to be spent.
Right.
And so it's like, and the biggest thing with Miami is they just can't draw fans. They just don't have a fan base. And the reason you don't have a fan base is because you don't have any players that bring people. I don't care how good I don't care what kind of stadium you have. It's like the Rangers when they built this new stadium, which I hate. But anyway, so they built this new stadium. Yeah, everybody's going to draw to it for a while. But if you're putting crap on the field, nobody's going to show up.
Yeah, that's so true.
Nobody wants to go watch a team just totally, look like garbage.
Right.
I mean, someone's going to pay for it,
Right.
Someone is,
Right.
but it may not be some of the richest fans out there.
Mm-hmm.
This is my thing. I just wish, like I said, I wish they would just lock themselves in a room, put boxing gloves on, do whatever you got to do. Make a deal.
Absolutely. One last thing before we get you out of here.
Go ahead.
The New York Mets hire the first female director in baseball operations, making her the franchise's highest-ranking female operations employee ever. It is Women's History Month. Just wanted to get your quick thoughts on that.
You know what? That is – I don't think it matters anymore. I mean, you've got, if she's capable of doing the job, she's capable of doing the job. This is my theory. My theory is, you got women referees, you got women, you got in football, basketball, we've got women coaches in football. In my personal opinion, if you can do the job, more power to you.
Awesome.
Yep, I completely agree. Well, Mr. Walker, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate you for joining us on the Fools on Stools podcast, and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, first.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, first non-K into you. Thank you very much, sir.
How you doing? Bye-bye.
Well, guys, that was a great conversation with Mr. Walker, and he made some really good points.
I thought he had a really very interesting take on things. It's really interesting because I talk with you guys, all about sports twice a week, and to hear somebody else's perspective. I know we're going to be having a guest for hour 2. It really
just spoil it, Cullen.
I mean, hey, you already got
Jeez.
You dropped the bomb in hour 1, so I got to drop a potential spoiler for hour 2. So, but yeah, no, I think he was a great first guest.
Yeah, I
Fools on
definitely
Stools.
think so. And tell us tell us in the comments on Spotify or on YouTube and in our social medias, how y'all like this. We're working on, getting everything going. We know we got the phone calls set up, so now we can take phone calls in studio and do interviews and whatnot through that. So if y'all like that, do let us know because feedback is wonderful. Without further ado, we are going to take it to our next topic. And Cullen, you spoke on this a little bit earlier on the baseball side, but it is Women's History Month, and with that, I have something that I want to complain about. The New York Liberty were fined $500,000 for flying on charter planes.
Hey, man, look. Hey, man, if the owner wants to give me a charter flight to go to Napa Valley, California for the second part of the WNBA season, hey, I ain't got no complaints. Have you guys ever been to Napa Valley? Napa Valley is really nice.
I've never flown
Really
charter.
nice. They have a lot of nice wineries there. A lot of grapes there. And in Napa Valley, Cali. It's very nice. But I mean, I saw on social media it was Sabrina Ionescu was like, this is a joke.
It is
literally.
a joke. It's an absolute joke because the WNBA came out and said, "Oh, we could terminate your franchise." Pardon my French, but that's bullcrap. I mean, what? I mean,
You're going to terminate the
a
New York
franchise.
Liberty?
Go ahead. What do NBA players and NBA teams fly on? What do they fly?
Private jets.
They fly private jets. They fly charter. Why the hell can't WNBA players fly charter? Why can't they fly private?
Okay, so it was the owner who did pay for it also.
I don't care. Why are they being punished for it? Why do they have to be forced to fly commercial? They are athletes just like anybody else. This goes into the problem of men and women's athletics being completely divided and the pay not being the same. It's crap.
So I just want to put some clarification because you're asking why they got fined. So Liberty team owners Joe and Clara Tsai charter flights for the players during the 2021 season, Sports Illustrated reported. Charter flights are against the league's collective bargaining agreement to maintain a competitive balance between the franchises. New York paid for the charter flights for 5 games during the second half of the season, as well as a trip to Napa Valley, as you guys mentioned. I understand from this point that they have it written in there, and therefore, it's it is in the rules, so it's not just completely coming out of nowhere. But like you're saying, Kevin, I don't really understand how it gives them a quote unquote competitive edge, as the article is alluding to, or a competitive balance and everything. I don't know how flying one way versus flying another is really affecting the players or anything. I mean, hey, if the owners are willing to spend that money, let them.
I mean, hey,
what's the issue?
Maybe taking that charter flight to Napa Valley on Labor Day, maybe it just helps a little bit. Maybe they were a little sore after the game.
Or maybe you play WNBA. Maybe you pay WNBA players what they deserve, and they can afford private jets. Because you want to sit here and say, oh, flying on charter, that's a competitive edge. Well, yeah, because a lot of other owners, there's probably quite a few owners that can't afford charter jets or charter planes or charter whatever for their teams, because the WNBA is currently lesser than the NBA, and that's crap. Okay, big deal. Pay WNBA players the right way, they can afford their own private jets, and you won't have this issue.
Yeah, I mean, that's what FIFA did with the if you remember the soccer lawsuit for the women's national soccer team, they eventually got what they deserved in the lawsuit that they had. So maybe the WNBA, I don't know if this is potentially going to get legal or not. But the fact that they made these comments like this, it really took me for a shock. Like when you said that this morning, Kevin, off air before we went on to the podcast, and it took me aback for a little bit because I was just like, what? Like
termination of a franchise. Go ahead, y'all tell me the last time something happened to a team that was like, oh yeah, we're gonna terminate your franchise.
Yeah,
let's be real.
The damn Houston Astros cheated in the World Series and won, for crying out loud, and they didn't get terminated.
They got a trophy.
They got what they get. They got a trophy, World Series bonus, and what? They missed a few games.
Yeah, and clout. That's all they got. Which is
what the hell? You want to talk about termination of a franchise?
I mean, your dad mentioned it. There's been cheating in baseball for however long.
I don't care. They won a World Series, and the New York Liberty. Correct me if I'm wrong. They weren't a playoff team last year, were they?
The New York Liberty?
Yes.
I think they were. I think they were. I'll double check, but.
Okay, but they didn't win the whole damn thing by chartering it, did they?
No, no. It's
like, dude.
I think the biggest thing is just that's the second. Oh, that's the biggest fine that has been fined for the WNBA.
$500,000.
$500,000? Like, come on, that's ridiculous.
What the hell? Like, I don't know. It really, really rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it. I know one of the players for the New York Liberty literally commented on it. It was like, great job by the WNBA to drop this on the first day of Women's History Month.
Literally. Like seriously.
Great timing.
Like, fantastic timing. Good job. But in other news, we'll take some heat away, but with a jaw-dropping performance.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
No, that was good. That was good. That was good.
Ja Morant. I mean, what do we even say at this point?
Easy. He's a killer. He's a killer.
52.
He scored 52 points the night after scoring the franchise high in 48 points.
Yep. And then he said he broke his own franchise record again the next night. 22 of 30 shooting.
That's ridiculous.
Are you kidding me? Like Ja Morant.
And the poster. Do not get me started on the poster. I mean, we can just put it on the wall right there.
Well, we need a TV right there, but yeah, I understand what you mean.
We would.
Or just like a little thumbtack if you want to print it out or anything.
I mean,
I get what you're saying, Kevin.
Like,
but
post.
Anyway.
And have y'all ever noticed how whenever Ja Morant dunks, he like curls his lips over his teeth? That is like the most menacing look.
Yeah, it's kind of like his own little signature. But yeah, I mean, his bounce is something
ridiculous
because he doesn't even need that much of a running start to get as high as he gets, and that dunk over Jakob Poeltl was a very big showcase of that. Morant, so I found this out too because I was looking him up. Do you guys realize he's only 174 pounds listed?
Oh, wow.
I mean, that don't surprise me. He looks skinny, but
174 pounds.
I'm
and
164.
he is sitting there, and he is the number 2 behind Nikola Jokic in terms of points in the paint scored per game this season in the NBA. And he's doing that, again, with his, not larger frame.
Get this man some MVP votes, for crying out loud.
The fact that he's really overshot what Memphis was expected to be from the start of the season, absolutely. He 100% deserves to be in that MVP conversation along with the 2 big giants in the NBA. And I hope now with this performance, he'll start to get more of that recognition.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he already is. He's already in that MVP conversation.
But he needs to be, like, the focal point.
That's what I'm saying.
He needs to be 3.
He needs to be like that firm third guy.
He needs to be 3.
He hasn't been that guy yet. He hasn't been that guy. Like, yes, he's been talked about how great he's been performing this year, but he's.
I mean, I know we talk about DeRozan and everything like that, but he's not a rookie, but he's 23.
No. We're not talking about DeRozan the way we're talking about Ja Morant. first things first. We're talking about Ja Morant, like literally like Kevin Durant, basically.
No,
'Cause
that's
if you
what
think
I'm
about
saying.
that, it's
That's what I'm
like-
saying. Ja Morant, with what he's turned that franchise into and the players that he has around him and the way that they just play, Ja Morant means more, in my opinion, to the Grizzlies than DeRozan means to the Bulls. And I know everybody's like, the MVP really isn't the most valuable player anymore. Both of them need their flowers. Both of them need their respect. But in my opinion, what Ja Morant is doing is absolutely amazing.
I mean, I don't think anybody would have been I think people would have been surprised if Zion Williamson was playing, for one. But I mean, hey, look,
He's over partying in Mardi Gras.
He wasn't even supposed to be in this subject. You just randomly just decided to throw shade. He randomly just threw him under the bus.
He's partying in
true.
Mardi. He's in Mardi Gras.
No, he's in Portland. Remember, he's in Portland rehabbing. He ain't in Mardi Gras right now. Well, and then again, he might.
I mean,
He's
he
in
might.
there. He's in there.
it
He
is
just
Ash
he-
Wednesday. And
he's just
yesterday
not
was,
actually in there.
I mean, yesterday was Fat Tuesday. So
There you go.
My
I mean, I'm
goodness.
just
You
saying.
said it, not me.
I'm just saying. But with Ja Morant, I wouldn't be surprised if the Grizzlies made it to the Western Conference Finals, guys.
Dude, they're playing really good. They're well-rounded.
So I want to ask you that because you just brought that up.
Yeah.
Your pick for the Western Conference is the Golden State Warriors, correct? Or are you going with Phoenix? Because to get to the Western Conference Finals, they'd have to beat Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors.
And you don't think that the Memphis Grizzlies with Ja Morant, who's
I'm
that
asking
stone
you.
cold killer?
I'm asking you, do you think the Memphis Grizzlies right now would you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So would you-
100%.
I'm asking, would you pick them right now
Right now?
in a 7-game
Oh
series?
my gosh.
And
yes.
against the Golden State Warriors.
Yes. Right
Wow.
now. You're saying right now because you one. Yes. Okay. You have a Clay, but he's not fully healthy. He's not back. Okay. He's not back.
Well,
And also, Ja Morant is a baller, killer, stone cold assassin who has the heart of a warrior and a lion mixed together. Like, oh my gosh. Like,
that was a lot.
when you watch Ja Morant, tell me a player who you think of.
Younger Derrick Rose, younger Russell Westbrook, younger.
There's one player I'm thinking of specifically.
I thought Derrick
you-
Rose was a pretty good comparison. The
No,
younger-
I know who
I
he's
like
thinking
that.
of.
Who am I thinking of, Cullen?
You're thinking about the answer, Allen Iverson.
Yes, the answer, Allen Iverson. Like, literally,
He said that to me earlier. That's all.
I did.
Well,
I did say that to him
It's a cheat
earlier.
code.
But if you think about it, I mean, Allen Iverson, when he was playing with Philadelphia, whoo, doggy, he was the best thing out there for Philly. I mean, that's all. I mean, he was just balling, and he didn't care. All he wanted to do was win. He may have been the smallest player on the court, but all he wanted to do was win over and over and over again, and that's exactly what Ja Morant is doing.
Well, speaking of winning over and over and over again,
Oh man.
I know. I'm repping the Luka jersey, and we're gonna talk about it. Okay, we're gonna talk about it. After 2 stellar performances, we're gonna address the first one. A 19-point comeback against the Warriors. I would say the only highlight the Warriors had that night was Steph Curry's pregame show, which I will give credit to because that was I was blown away. Did y'all see that?
I mean, his pregame warm-up shenanigans is up there with like the NFL guys doing one-handed catches in the end zone.
No.
Like
Yeah.
it's
I'm
like it's
talking-
up there in
What?
terms of like his crazy shots that he shoots from the tunnel or he shoots from like way behind the basket and everything.
Yeah, but,
all that stuff.
Yeah, but did you see the one that he did before the Mavericks game?
I did not catch that one. No.
So, Anthony, did you?
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, we're not as
y'all
much as a
stink.
Mavs fanatic as you are. I mean, hey, you come
This
in
is
here
Steph Curry.
with
I'm talking about Steph Curry.
No, but it's for a Mavericks game.
Okay.
yeah. When you say with
So-
Mavs, I'm thinking of Luka.
All right. So he shot at the charity stripe,
Oh, I saw that. Okay, I
shot
know what you're
behind the
talking about
charity
now.
stripe, shot 3-point, shot
Oh,
mid,
that,
shot
yes. Okay.
shot in
Yeah.
between half court,
Okay.
shot half again, shot between half and three,
Yeah.
and just kept going down. He made every single one of them.
He was just
See-
simply walking it back and then walked it back forward, not missing a shot.
didn't miss this every
even
single
touch rim.
No, it just straight through.
See, when I saw, I didn't really think it was like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. I was just like,
That's
bro,
Steph.
this is
That's
That's Steph. That's
this
what he
is
does.
just this is just
I mean-
practice. Like literally, it's just practice. Okay, I'm just gonna shoot from here. No, literally, it's like this is like Steph. I'm gonna shoot from here, shoot from here, shoot from here, and everybody on social media is just gonna blow up and be like, oh my gosh, that's crazy.
and he can change his arc too, because like he could throw it up in the air and it just falls. But
That's
anyway,
true. He is the greatest shooter of all time.
on to the
Yep.
actual game. The Mavs came back from a 19-point deficit against the Warriors to get the win And that was real big. That was really big win. And then they follow up with Luka, ISO,
Taking down the king.
LeBron.
Taking down the king. The king.
He
Mm-hmm.
he was like, give me that smoke. Give me that smoke. Hitting him with a little Dirk Flamingo.
Hit him with a Hit him with a
And then
swish.
while we're talking about it, the putback poster slam.
Oh boy, that was.
I have not seen Luka get up like that in a while.
Dwight, if you're somehow listening to this podcast,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's.
I'm so sorry.
That was not a good one. I mean, that one made Jakob Poeltl look tame. Like that,
It
like
was
that poster.
tough.
Because the most shocking thing about it is like when you think of Luka Doncic, right?
You don't think, he's
Athleticism.
explosive dunker.
No, you don't think of a guy that's going to sit there and dunk over somebody.
No.
And he dunked over one of the better centers of our generation, or even just entire basketball history.
He dunked over Superman.
Yep. He really
Okay,
did.
hold on, guys. Okay, first of all,
It's
he
a- it's a-
whoa. He
it's-
dunked over a Superman / Clark Kent that is like out of his
Yeah.
prime. Like, come on, guys.
No,
Okay,
If
whatever.
he actually dunked over an Orlando
Let-
Magic Laker,
let
like
Ke-
old school Lakers,
Let Kevin
like
have his moment.
Dwight
He's got
Howard.
his jersey on. Like,
I'm
let
just
Kevin,
saying.
Let just Kevin have his moment.
You're
He
really
think-
saying he
I'm
dunked
just-
over a
did
2008
Luka
Dwight
Doncic
Howard?
did Luka Doncic dunk over Dwight Howard? Yes or no?
Okay, yes, but he wasn't. in
Okay,
his
there you go.
prime.
That's all
Okay,
I
I'm just
needed to know.
saying.
He had a
That's all I needed
one-hand
to
jam
know.
on him, okay?
That's all I
But
needed to know.
and a more important note, the Mavs have been playing really solid recently. They've been playing really good, playing really well-rounded, and Spencer Dinwiddie has been actually doing very well.
He's finally
you guys
finding
are
his groove.
shocked that Spencer Dinwiddie's
I'm
actually
not
doing
shocked.
good.
I'm not shocked. I believe I said that I was like, I don't know much about this Bertans guy. Spencer Dinwiddie has had success in the past with the Nets.
Yeah, it's just been very hard for him ever since his ACL injury.
But he went since he's come to Dallas. He's been doing really good numbers.
See, I just think it's
Consistency
because
is what I was hoping for, and that's what he's given so far.
I think it's just because he was stuck in Washington with the Wizards. Because you can get stuck in Washington and you can get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Unless you're Bradley Beal and you're just
And Kyle
chilling like a
Kuzma,
villain.
apparently.
And Kyle Kuzma, because Kyle Kuzma is cooking up a storm up there.
No.
But if you're just chilling like a villain like Bradley Beal and you're not Bradley Beal, you're just stuck like Chuck.
Yeah.
With that being
Literally.
said, Bradley Beal, please come to the Mavericks.
That ain't gonna happen, brother.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
That is not gonna happen.
Yeah. Good luck with that one.
Yeah. Anyway, for the next, we got returns to the NBA. Markelle Fultz, after missing quite some time, Cullen's going to look up how many days
No,
that was.
I've got it right here.
Oh.
Come on now.
You know, Cullen always got this.
Was been cleared to return after suffering a torn ACL in his left knee back on January 6th, 2021.
How many days?
So that in total is 14 months ago. 14 months.
I don't got the.
I'm glad he's back though.
I'm not a math guy.
I'm really glad he's back.
And he was all automatic buckets. Automatic buckets.
I think ever since he got to Orlando, he's been buckets for real. I mean, because when he was with the 76ers, they just ruined his jump shot and everything. It was just bad.
I mean, he had a broken jump shot coming into the league. What do you mean?
I don't think he had a broken jump shot coming in the league. I mean, when he was playing at Washington, he was fine.
I mean, but that's the thing. So he got into the league, right? And then summer league especially, where I kind of like noticed that there was something off because he was weirdly not for a guard. He was shooting really low from free throw range coming into the NBA. Like I get off the dribble and stuff, he had like a flow and everything. But then he had like this weird phantom shoulder injury, and his career's been marred with injuries ever since. And I'm happy that he's in Orlando, where he's got all the free reign to kind of just build up his game. Try to see if he can build himself into a nice contributing player, especially as a former number one overall pick. Like, he does have talent there. Obviously, I mean, there was a reason that he was taken number one overall in the first place. So I'm hoping that Markelle, he got 10 and 6 in 16 minutes. I think he'll have some time. So get back into the flow of things and hopefully resurrect his career a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the Orlando Magic are a guard-heavy team right now with, R.J. Hampton and with Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony,
Yep.
Jalen Suggs. I mean, it's a guard-heavy team right there. And, I mean, you have Wendell Carter Jr., as your centerpiece, which he's doing pretty good, too, ever since he left the Chicago Bulls. But I'm glad he came back, and I'm glad he's doing good, and someone else is gonna be making a comeback too.
Oh yeah,
pretty
yes
soon.
sir, he is.
That
Easy money sniper.
Yes sir.
Mr. Kevin Durant.
And he's gonna be back tomorrow.
Cullen,
Correct?
Cullen, how many points do you think Kevin Durant's gonna drop tomorrow?
Well, they're probably gonna have him on a minutes restriction.
I'm gonna say 8.
It depends.
I'm sorry.
Is it an away game?
It's versus Miami. I think it's a home game.
So then Kyrie can't play.
Yeah. It depends on how much they play him, but I'm gonna say
He said 8 points.
I know. I'm gonna add a 1 onto his thing. I'm gonna say 18.
Thank you.
18
Thank you.
his return.
Thank you for making it make sense.
I know.
Whatever. I don't care.
Kevin's just a hater sometimes. It's okay.
I'm not a hater.
He doesn't like Kevin
He
Durant.
literally went to Texas, has the same first name as mine. Like, why would I hate Kevin Durant?
Because you got to be the biggest Kevin in the room.
That's right. That's right. Even though you're
Whatever.
not,
You got to be the
7
most
foot,
well-known Kevin in the room.
Whatever.
You're not 7 foot. You don't got.
I'm
you
the
don't-
Kevin from Texas.
I like Kevin Durant. Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
I'm glad he's coming back. He
Yep.
makes the league better. It's more enjoyable with him in it, and it don't matter. The Nets aren't going to do anything anyway.
I don't know about that. I mean, did you not see what they did to the Bucks?
All I know
I did.
All I know is Ben Simmons hasn't played a game yet. Kyrie, we don't know if he's ever going to be a full-time player again this season, and Kevin Durant's just coming off, a somewhat major injury. Be very interesting to see for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that is going to do it for hour 1 for the podcast. Be sure to come back for hour 2. We got a special guest, one of Cullen's friends. We got some good stuff from Anthony's Alley, and as always, we're going to have some good content in Kevin's Kickback. Be sure to come back for hour 2. But for now, we will see y'all later.